Welcome back. Well, we've been talking a lot about delicious food to indulge in on today's show, which is one of my favorite topics. But of course, it's pretty important to balance those indulgences with exercise, which I also love. Now, not everyone knows where to start when it comes to a fitness routine. So Zara's here with tips that are going to help get you started. Zara, I'm so happy we're talking about this. As a personal trainer and kinesiologist, one of the most common questions you get asked is, how do I start?
Yes, exactly, for sure. And you're so right. I think a lot of times we focus on, how to get this or how to get to running. But let's talk about the people who just want to start. And there's so many people out there. So first of all, it can seem really intimidating and daunting to start a fitness routine because you're looking at social media and you're looking at super fit people or you're looking at intense workouts. But just know that you don't have to start like that. And that's not what your workouts might look like ever. And that's totally fine. The idea is just to find something you're comfortable with and just give me 30 minutes of movement a day. It doesn't have to be a lot, and it can be simple things like walking, biking, and body weight exercises.
Absolutely. Let's not make it more complicated than it is. So for beginners, your first point is to start small.
Yeah, start small. Just think of, what can I do for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get my body moving? So whether it is just going for a walk, like I said, doing a bike ride, playing tennis, if you can, just finding something, putting on some music and dancing around. The idea is just to get moving, and the idea is to be consistent. So I'd rather you do a little bit every day and stay consistent than do like a huge chunk maybe on the weekends. So start very small.
I love that you mentioned being consistent, because there are some days I wake up and I want to go hard and I want to go for over an hour, and other days when I wake up and I don't want to work out at all. So maybe I'll do like 10-15 minutes, but I never beat myself up over that because I know the next day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do something. So consistency is, I think, a hard thing to nail down. How do you maintain consistency for yourself, Sarah?
So you're so right. What you said is the idea is just to make sure that you're fitting in activity into your life every single day. Be consistent, especially when you're starting off. That's how you know you'll stick to it. So you want to make sure you're scheduling that time in. You're giving yourself that 20 minutes. And if you feel good and that 20 minutes turns into 45, that's amazing. And some days that might happen. And some days you're like, all I want to do is go for a walk or walk the dog or take the kids to the park, and that's going to be my activity. But the idea is to get it in every day. So make sure you're scheduling it in so you know when that workout is happening, and you will be more consistent and you will be more likely to stay on track.
Absolutely, because you're going to feel good every time. Now, you also say don't be afraid to start slow. And what do you mean by that?
So again, like I said, a lot of times you look at what people are doing in the fitness industry and you're like, oh, okay, so do I have to jump? I have to do these crazy push-ups. And no, don't be afraid to start. So the idea is to challenge your muscles, get your heart working a little bit more than you're used to, right? So if you go too hard too quickly, it's going to be a shock to your system. So you want to make sure you're doing simple body weight exercises, increasing that cardiovascular just a little bit. And you know what? If you actually start slower, it's better because you're going slow. The muscles are learning those movements. The muscles are getting stronger. And when you're going slow and you're really watching your form, you're less likely to injure yourself as well.
100%. Do you want to walk us through maybe a few moves that folks might want to start with at home if they are just getting started?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to step back here, but again, I don't have a lot of space, and the idea is just to move your body and challenge those muscles a little bit more than you normally do. So you can even start with something as simple as a jumping jack. Now, if you find this too hard, you can just modify it. There's always modifications based on what you're doing. So you can do something like that. You can do a side shuffle. Again, just moving a little bit faster and quicker than you're used to. And the good old squat, go nice and slow. Watch that positioning. Sit back into your squat. Think of those quads that you're working, and come back up. Make sure you're squeezing the proper muscles, your thighs and your glutes.
Okay, Zara, you have another move for us. Go ahead, show us.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you, if you don't have weights, it's really hard to find weights these days. Grab a can of beans, whatever you have, and you can even just do simple upper body exercises like this. That little bit of extra weight is going to add a little bit of resistance, and it's going to make the muscles work a little bit harder.
Excellent tips, excellent moves. You will never go wrong with some jumping jacks and some squats. Thank you for that, Zara. So you can go to cityline.tv for a link to Zara's 30 Days to Fit Beginner Challenge. She knows what she's doing. She will motivate you.